Good afternoon, Warriors. I'm here with head coach Darrin Fisher. Coach, coming off a great win against our rival Franklin last week, how do you keep your team grounded and focused to move ahead and keep the momentum going for Week 5?
Well, I think, the thing we're going to address is, some people would call it a trap game, but I don't think that those necessarily exist. If you're a competitor, it's kind of you versus you until game time. So from this point until, are you focused on your fundamentals? Are you focused on taking care of your body? Are you focused on development of your skills and things to get better? And that's been what we've done here this week. And then once 7 o'clock hits, then it's kind of, we showed some grit last Friday in coming from behind and finishing that game the way that we did and all those things. And you got to kind of bring your own grit with you when you go. And some games, the other team provides that extra incentive for you, but all the time the incentive is really provided. It's bring your own grit every day. So that's kind of where we're approaching this game, and that's what I'm counting. I think our guys are competitors, and we've had a good week of practice to prepare, and I think we'll be ready to go.
And also, Coach, Perry graduated 23 seniors from their football team last year. So what have you seen from this new sort of younger team that you've been preparing your team for?
Well, Coach Miller stepped in and did a really good job. He had to take over kind of late in the summer, and he was their defensive coordinator last year. He's done a good job. I think they're very well coached. I think they've got good team speed, and they play very. They're they're schematically, they're very good in all three phases, and it's going to be a great challenge for us to go on the road. Any game in the Mid-State Conference on the road is difficult, and the environments provide, again, that reason for you to be a competitor and bring your own grit with you. That's kind of where we stand.
And then with that speed, Coach, what has changed in the practice plan this week that's going to prepare your guys for the speed of this Perry Meridian team?
We always try to practice as fast as we can. We talk about every Tuesday has to be the best Tuesday of the year, because that's kind of how you progress from week to week to week, because, you're building that grit. It was 89, 90 degrees. It was hot on Monday and Tuesday. We were in full pads, and the purpose of that, A, is to get ready for the game, B, to improve your fundamentals and skills, but C, you're also building that grit that you need. I keep coming back to that, but you keep building that grit that you need on Friday night to get through. The Franklin game's a great example of the grit that it takes internally and as a team to overcome things, to make sure if there's a setback that you are resilient enough to overcome that. So, we're expecting that to progress. We had a good week. I think, again, Tuesday was our best practice of the year. And we're going to we'll see that on Friday night, those performances, and that progression will continue.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Good luck. I'm Griffin Sanders, Whiteland Beat Sports Network.